losing his mind. But how could that be? He was working daily in his office. It was a big firm and he was doing a responsible job. He wasn't aware of anything ever going seriously wrong. Only today he spoke for half an hour at an important meeting, and yet, here in this paragraph, poet writer means to say that was Bipin Babu losing his mind? He was continuously having that kind of thoughts about going mad, becoming mad. Losing his mind is becoming mad. How could that be? It is not possible for Bipin Babu to be mad because he was working daily, regularly in his office, and it was a big firm. He had never done any irresponsibility. He was very particular in his work. He was a very, very sincere and honest person, as it will be told afterwards also in the lesson to us. He wasn't aware of anything that he may have made a mistake, some very terrible, serious mistake in his work. Even that day, he conducted a meeting for half an hour. He had to speak, and it was very, very well. So, and yet how it was possible for him to forget such a big thing about going to Ranchi. The thoughts came on pondering into his mind. And yet the man knew a great deal about him. How? He even seemed to know some intimate details. The bag of books, wife's death, brother's insanity. The only mistake was about his having gone to Ranchi. Not a mistake, a deliberate lie. In 58, during the pujas, he was in Kanpur at his friend Haridas Bagchi's place. All Bipin Babu had to do was to write to. No, there was no way of writing to Haridas. Bipin Babu suddenly remembered that Haridas had left with his wife for Japan some weeks ago, and he didn't have his address. So, here what happened? The man seemed to be knowing a great deal about our Bipin Babu. But how was it possible? It made Bipin Babu think a lot, because it's not possible for any general person to know such intimate details about anybody, and that person, especially if he is a stranger. He seemed to know every personal and private details of Bipin Babu. Intimate means very personal and private details. He knew about wife's death. He knew that he need books whenever he goes outside on some sightseeing places. He knew about the brother's insanity, that is madness and death. The only mistake about Parimal Ghosh was that he told Bipin Babu that Bipin Babu had been to Ranchi. Not a mistake. It was a deliberate lie. Deliberate means that man was speaking a lie purposely, on purpose. He is speaking a deliberate lie. In 1958, during the pujas, Bepin Babu was very sure that he spent his time with a friend in Kanpur, and that friend's name was Haridas Bagchi. So in 1958, Bipin Babu went to Haridas Bagchi's place in Kanpur during the puja. So how was it possible that he will be there at the same time in Kanpur as well as Ranchi? All Bipin Babu now thought that I could do one thing, that I could easily write a letter to Haridas Bagchi and clear and sort out the matter. Then he suddenly remembered that Haridas Bagchi and his wife had already left for Japan only a few weeks ago, and Japan's address was not there with Bipin Babu. Bipin Babu was not having his Japan address, so he will not be able to write and ask his friend. But where was the need for the proof? He himself was fully aware that he hadn't been to Ranchi, and that was that. Then another thought flashed the mind of Bepin Babu, that when he was sure about having not gone to Ranchi, then why this kind of thought should arise? Whom to give the proof? Why he needs the proof for, when he was self-confident? He knew himself very well. That was that. If I know that I have never been to Ranchi, then why should I worry about what others tell? The river breeze was bracing, and yet a slight discomfort lingered in Bipin Babu's mind around Hastings. Bipin Babu decided to roll up his trousers and take a look at his right knee. There was the mark of an old inch-long cut. It was impossible to tell when the injury had occurred. Here, the river breeze was bracing, means moving fastly, stimulating, and yet a slight discomfort lingered in Bipin Babu's mind. Lingered means it was there in that place. Which place? Bipin Babu's mind. It was not moving away or out of there. And he decided that let me have a look at my right knee, whether my right knee has a cut or not. He was not able to remember that. He decided to just check it out and have a look. So he just rolled on his trousers hurriedly and he took a look at his right knee. Yes, then there was a mark. He found the mark, means whatever Parimal Ghosh had told, it was correct. But he himself, you can see in the picture, he is so poor person, puzzled and confused, because he was not able to recall his 1 week long stay at Ranchi and not even a single thing of Ranchi. That which place did he live, whom did he meet, nothing he was able to recall. So he was going on crazy. Then he saw that he already had a cut mark on the knee, but he was not able to remember that when exactly that injury may have took place. Had he never had a fall as a boy and cut his knee? He tried to recall such an incident but couldn't. He was trying to remember that maybe in his childhood or any time he may have had a cut, but he could not remember his injury related to knee. Then Bipin Babu suddenly thought of Dinesh Mukherjee. The man had said that Dinesh was in Ranchi at the same time. The best thing surely would be to ask him. He lived quite near, in Beni Nandan Street. What about going right now? But then, if he had really never been to Ranchi, what would Dinesh think if Bipin Babu asked for a confirmation? He would probably conclude Bipin Babu was going nuts. No, it would be ridiculous to ask him. So Bipin Babu thought of Dinesh Mukherjee, because that man, which man? That Parimal Ghosh had said already that Dinesh was in Ranchi. That now comes the role of one Dinesh Mukherjee, that when Bepin Babu went to Ranchi, then Dinesh Mukherjee had also met him and he was also there. He was also another known person of Bipin Babu. So Bipin Babu thought that I would go straight away to Dinesh Mukherjee's place in Beni Nandan Street and I would easily be able to ask him about visit to Ranchi and he will inform me. He would be surely knowing about that. But if Bipin Babu had not visited Ranchi, then what will happen? Then Dinesh will obviously make fun of him and think that Bipin Babu had gone nuts. Gone nuts means going nuts. Going nuts means going mad or crazy. No, it would be ridiculous to ask him. Ridiculous, just laughing stock. He will become when he will ask to Dinesh Mukherjee. It would be ridiculous that if he asked. Yes. Here see the meaning of ridiculous. Stupid or unreasonable, deserving to be laughed at, means something which creates a laughing stock. It's really very stupid thing. Here examples are given. Do I look ridiculous in this hat? Means I am looking a laughing like figure. Then coming back. Yes. Now, what happened? He knew how ruthless Dinesh's sarcasm could be. He knew about Dinesh's sarcasm. Ruthless Dinesh's sarcasm. Here ruthless and sarcasm. Ruthless means without thinking of anybody's pain or problem or suffering. And we are not showing a mercy or care, concern about somebody. Sarcasm is a kind of negative joke which we are putting on others. Let's see the meanings here. Let's see the meanings of ruthless. Ruthless means not thinking or worrying about any pain caused to others. Means it's a cruel thing. Not worrying about others' pain. And sarcasm means the use of irony to mock or convey contempt. Means saying something to somebody in a laughing way, opposite way, but we are really laughing on them. We are trying to make fun of that person in a negative way. Now coming back to our paragraph. Yes. Now, sipping a cold drink in his air-conditioned living room, he felt at ease again. Such a nuisance. Just because they have nothing else to do, they go about getting into other people's hair. After all this, he was just sitting in his air-conditioned living room. He was sipping a cold drink and he felt lot better. Apart from all this thought, he felt very good and he felt at ease. Means now he was comfortable. Back again, he was sitting in his living room, in an air-conditioned room, having a cold drink. And he was thinking about the people who have no work to do and just they are gossiping and trying to create trouble for other people by saying anything which they like. They are getting into other people's hair. Getting into other people's hair means interfering with and annoying people. Interfering with other people's business and annoying them, troubling them. After dinner, snuggling in bed with one of the new thrillers, Bepin Babu forgot all about the man in New Market. Now, after dinner, he was totally engaged in one of the new thrillers. That is the book he must have brought from the Kalicharan shop in New Market. And he was reading that book. He was trying to snuggle, means making himself comfortable. Snuggling in bed means making himself comfortable. Let me search and show you for the meaning also. Snuggling means making settle or move into a warm, comfortable position. I snuggle down in my sleeping bag. That is settling into a warm and comfortable position.